What is going on? Justin here with Native Watercraft, and today I'm going to be unboxing and talking about the brand new 801 Propel X-Range pedal drive system. The X-Range Propel system is a redesigned and upgraded product from our previous 701 series. Super easy to put together. Really the only thing that does not come pre-installed are the foot pedals, and then you have the thwart tube, which is included with your kayak. You will have to insert that manually into what we're calling the knuckle. Now let's start off by removing our 801 housing from the box. Just set that box aside. You can go ahead and toss that, recycle it, or you can keep it as a souvenir. It was designed by yours truly. Now let's look at our parts package. First thing we have are the crank arms. Then here are your hex pins. This will give you some extra traction on your foot pedals. Bolts for our crank arms, and then you have 3 different sizes of hex keys. Couple of ways that we can install our thwart tube. Honestly, I'm going to be over explaining this, but I just want to make sure that everybody is on the same page. Let's start off by removing our knuckle. There is a locking pin, and you just pull that tab and it will slide right off. And then uninstall the thwart tube from the kayak, and this just pops right out and you can slide it directly into the knuckle. Really from here, you can just take a tape measure or a ruler and you can make sure that each side is the same length. Take your 4mm hex key and tighten all 4 of these down. The other option here, maybe you don't have access to a measuring device. I don't know, you're on the water somewhere, you got really excited, you took your kayak directly to the boat ramp, and you still want to make sure that both of these sides are even. So what I'm going to do now is take each 4 of these bolts and I'm going to tighten them down just a little bit to where there's still some play back and forth in the knuckle. Take your thwart tube and knuckle, reinstall into the recessed slot, tighten those down, and then take your X-Range and connect these pieces back together. Take your safety pin and lock it in. Keeping in mind that the thwart tube is freely moving, the propel drive is going to naturally want to sit in the center position. So if you push it forward in the stowed position, there is a recess in the bow hatch, and that's going to naturally want to lay down in between that molded area. And then from here, you can tighten down both of the exposed bolts on the top. And then just pop this out and tighten down the remaining 2 bolts. For this next part, I highly recommend doing this inside of your kayak so your X-Range remains secure. Grab your crank arms, your 8mm hex key, as well as the 2 crank arm bolts. Let me start off by saying this. There is already a patch of Loctite on each one of the crank arm bolts. From the factory, we do not recommend any additional Loctite. To identify each side, look on the inside of the crank arm. One is going to say 155L, that is your left side. And then the right side is going to say 155R. Flip that around, opposite direction, and now we can install our bolts. The connection points on either side, these are both tapered, so with every turn, you're going to push this crank arm further and further up the taper. The goal is to tighten down each one of these to 26 foot-pounds. If you don't have a digital torque wrench, you can take this little QR code off of one of the pedals, scan it, and it will tell you exactly how to get to 26 foot-pounds. Me, I've done this for a pretty long time, so I have a good idea of how far to go. You can kind of use the other pedal as leverage to make sure it gets tightened down properly. If you're not confident about this, that's totally fine. Just find your local Native dealer or even a bike shop. They install crank arms all the time. Let's pretend for a second that we didn't see any of that. Now I'm going to show you how to install, deploy, and stow your X-Range. Take the thwart tube, set it down in the recess, take your 2 twist locks, 180, just like that. To deploy your X-Range, start off by removing the dry pod system. This is something new for Native Watercraft. And then you also have a new self-latching system. You have the shelf and the receiver that's on the unit. And that slides all the way down and simply locks in place. To remove it, simply pull on this handle towards you and it should pop right off. Again, back in the lock position, pull right off. Between the 2 twist locks and the new self-latching device, there is virtually no play in this unit. To reinstall your dry box, just slide it up underneath the shelf like this, press down, and then engage your twisting lock. One of the best features of the X-Range is its ability to be stowed up and out of the way. Let's be honest, as anglers, we really value the deck space that we have. So if you're also running stern motorization and you're not using this unit, you can properly stow it. Just forward of the handle, there's a little mechanism here that engages the indexer. So simultaneously, you can pull up on the drive using one of your fingers, press this mechanism down, and this is going to align your prop so you can pull it out. In order for this to work correctly, I have to be going forward. So I'm going to grab the handle, engage the prop indexer, go forward. Now it's properly aligned, and then pull all the way up. As you've probably noticed in this video, this arm is freely moving. So with one smooth motion, I grab the handle, I index the prop, and now I'm going to simply push forward. There's a molded in recess built into the hatch, so this is going to rest nicely and be secure while on the water. One final feature that I'm going to leave you with today is the built-in weed cutter. If you take a closer look at the blade, the variance on this is just very, very tight. It is super close to the prop, which is going to ensure that it functions properly. But if you ever come into a situation to where this is interfering with the prop itself, there are 2 screws right here and you can adjust accordingly. There's just enough wiggle room in this blade to where you can free it up and then just tighten it back down. If you'd like, you can check out our troubleshooting video at the very end of this playlist. It addresses some common problems and offers a solution. If you run into any issues, please feel free to reach out to Big Adventures or your local dealer. If you'd like to learn more about the brand new X-Range and Hammer, I'll have both of these linked down below. And as always, appreciate y'all for watching. I look forward to seeing you on the water.